Blake's Buzz Live. Buzz, 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 buzz. It's Blake's Buzz Live. Buzz, 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 buzz. It's Blake's Buzz Live. Hate less, read comics. It's Blake's Buzz Live.
Buzz, buzz, babies.
Hey, buzz, babies. It is Friday. It's a long weekend. Also, I know some of you around there are like, what the hell, Blake? You just said like Blake's Buzz Live might be taking a break. Tonight is a special episode because it is going to be taking a break. I'm not taking a break. I have so much video, guys. I still have Comic-Con or the con footage. I talked to Tom King. I haven't even got to put that out yet. So like, the lives are going to take a small break. I'm going to get caught up with some video. So you're still going to get to listen to me yak into a mic, and we got some cool stuff planned over at Geek Network too. Right. So again, like I'm not going anywhere. Just some things might change a little bit, but I just wanted to drop a little bit of housekeeping knowledge on you before I bring out tonight's guest. And a lot of you know him. Some of you that watch my show have worked with him. Everybody who has speaks highly of him. He's done something crazy in a short amount of time, I think, and it's been getting bigger and better and cooler. Who am I talking about? Well, isn't that a good question? Because I confirmed his name in the green room, so I could say it right. Zoop's Jordan Plosky, where did my mouse go? Is in the house. What is up, dude? All right.
Man, I gotta say, I love your energy, and the applause was that's a great welcome. Thanks, man.
$500 well spent. Not you. I didn't charge him that. That's the roadcaster. It makes
no, guys, he did charge me that. That's what the intro cost me.
Dude, I wish I was at that level. I'll do a 30-second spot for you for $500. Maybe one day, because I'm not ashamed. I will do anything for money, Jordan. Long story short. No, how you doing, man? As I mentioned, it's a long weekend. Well, for people like us, we work constantly. Yeah. That's the joy of comics. But how you doing, man? Friday weekend. I'm spending it with me for some reason.
Hey, man, I appreciate it. I appreciate you and the audience, and I mean the crowdfunding focus that you guys have. I mean that's sort of like, the world that we live in right now. So I think that what you guys are doing is super cool. I think that the community that you're building is fantastic, and of course we want to address that community. So here we are on a Friday night. I got to take my daughter to volleyball in a little bit. She's got her practice lessons. So that's how exciting things are over here. Yeah.
Hey, I have dogs, so I don't understand taking. I mean, I understand the concept of like having children and taking them places. I'm not like what, but I don't have to worry about that, right? So,
but yeah, I mean, it's balancing having a business and doing everything that we do, and then still being able to be a dad and a family man. So part of the journey, man.
That is crazy because you guys do a lot, and your staff. You don't have a ton of people over there.
We're small, man. We're small. I sometimes I kind of question, like, how are we able to do everything that we're doing? And we keep delivering, man. We keep running successful campaigns. We keep delivering those books. So, things are going well, man. Things are going really well.
It is. And as I said, like I've had people on the show that have had active Zoop campaigns or friends, some clients that have been on Zoop, right? Everybody speaks highly of you guys, and they love that kind of a la carte, and also just like the service you guys offer. I don't know if some of you out there, I know a lot of pros watch my show, a lot of comic creators watch my show, right? So like Jordan emails me personally, and he says like, we've got these campaigns going on. Do you have time for like these guys reach out to press, to podcasters? They try and do stuff like that. Kickstarter is Kickstarter could do it. They'd have to hire a whole bunch of people. Hi, I'm just kidding. I'd work for you first, Jordan. I'll work for whoever. I'm just joking. That's a joke. It's a joke.
No, but that's honestly, look, that's one of the things that's, helps us stand out, right? I mean, a lot of people will be like, well, why would I use Zoop over Kickstarter? And I see a lot of the discourse online about, how Kickstarter has the audience and sometimes I see some of the negative stuff about us, and I'm like, oh, come on, man, we're trying here. Like everybody wants an alternative, but when an alternative arises, everybody just like gets a little, like a little bit. I don't know what the word is, but it's
there's a hesitation sometimes because like initially it was like, because I remember when you guys first launched and you know, some people were like, I don't want to put my credit card in on another thing. And so like a lot of us were like, it's like, hey, like I gave Zoop my information and I'm, you know, so that was like a lot of stuff. I think one of the streamers, like it might've been Kevin Joseph. He didn't like, he did it live, but he didn't like stream, like show the screen, obviously, because he's putting his credit card information in. But he was like, all right, guys, I'm doing Zoop, setting up my account. And it was like a minute or so. And he was like, I did it. It's pretty easy. Like, so, you know, like you had like, you know, people like embracing you. It was, you had like community support, like right out of the gate, which was cool. But yeah, there was that discourse of like, you know, the Kickstarter algorithm, the built-in audience base already. And but you're growing, you're accumulating, like.
We are, yeah. I mean, you know, the email list that we use, by the way, I mean, so like when I say the email list, it's our user base, right? But like that keeps growing. So that means our email list keeps growing. And everyone who comes to Zoop and runs a campaign has the benefit of utilizing our email list, which you don't on Kickstarter. You're doing it all on your own, you know? Blake, if you were to run a campaign on Kickstarter, it's all your social media, it's all your email list, whatever you have, and that's all you got.
Yeah.
When you come to Zoop, you have all of your stuff, but then you also have all of our outlets as well, all of our social channels, our email list. Like you said before, you know, we reach out to podcasters, YouTube shows, and we help promote in every way that we can. So I know that there's that hesitation of like, well, you know, Kickstarter has the audience. Okay, that doesn't mean that they're all finding you or that they're all, you know, going to back your campaign. And the thing is, that's it. You know, Kickstarter provides that sort of passively, I like to say, whereas we aggressively go after the audience for you on your behalf. And it may be smaller, but it's 100% comics focused. So everyone on our email list is a comics fan, not necessarily on, you know, on the platform for some potato peeler that, you know, like also combs your hair or something like that. Like, you know, and more power to those people who are there for that, you know.
You sound like an angry backer who backed this potato peeler campaign, and you're like, they haven't updated it in a year and a half. Yeah. I don't have my peeler, man. That's why I launched Zoop.
Well, you know what the thing was? I mean, the reason that we actually launched it was because we saw the explosion of crowdfunding, especially during the pandemic, but then also saw really how hard it is to do this.
Yes.
You know, I mean, crowdfunding has sort of become like the new self-publishing, right? And it's great because you don't have to sort of like put up your own money ahead of time. You're able to like rely on the community and the fan base that you cultivate hopefully over time before you launch a campaign. That's the right way to do it for anyone who's listening, as opposed to trying to like form your base through a campaign. That's not going to work for you anymore. Yeah. But we just saw the need and lowering that barrier to entry, because think about it. You have to learn a new technology. You have to learn how to use the platform. You have to figure out financials. You have to be your own promo person. There's a lot. You have to figure out how you're going to fulfill, which I know is like the largest barrier for a lot of people. You know, that they think that that's like the biggest task, keeping them from doing it. And it's also the biggest thing that kind of stops crowdfunding projects, but mostly Kickstarters, from being fulfilled.
Yeah. Has that been hard, by the way? Like, you know, like how when you're playing games, like no matter what you were playing for a while, like you called it like a Nintendo or you called it a PlayStation. Like sometimes even if you were playing Sega, you'd be like, oh, I met my friends playing Nintendo. And you're like, well, no, it's a Sega. And you know, like that jargon kind of stayed, and Kickstarter's kind of done that. Like so many, there's a lot of crowdfunding options now, right? But so many people will be like, oh, it's a Kickstarter thing. Well, no, it wasn't on Kickstarter, but well, yeah, it was, but like, is it hard trying to take crowdfunding back, like the word?
But thankfully there is that word crowdfunding to use, because to your point, yes, Kickstarter is sort of like they've Googleized their name. You know, it's like, oh, you know, I'm going to do a Kickstarter. Even when I talk to clients, and even if they're already working with us, sometimes they still say it too. I don't take offense. I get it. It's sort of like saying a Coke, or to your point, you know, playing Nintendo. You know, there's nothing personal about it, but it is a tough stigma to sort of overcome. But at the same time, I feel like, at least in the comics community, and we could talk about some of those other categories in a moment too, but at least in the comics community, I feel like we're at least a part of the conversation now. You know, that, like, to your point earlier, I think that we've developed and built that trust. People know who we are. People know we're not going to steal your credit card information. that we work with, you know, some really notable talent in the industry as well. So hopefully that brings peace of mind of like, you know, these people wouldn't be working with us if we weren't able to do all the things that we say that we do, you know, for them and for backers.
Very true. By the way, shout out Ronan. What's up? You know I love you. Thanks for always tuning in. So yeah, and speaking of like some of the cool like names and projects and stuff that you've worked on, right? Like this new entity that we're here to talk about tonight, which oddly enough, we've been talking comics and crowdfunding comics, which this is a comic. I know people hate this word. This is a comic IP, but it's a brand. It's a thing that you're turning into a game, which is exciting. On a lot of different levels. But I guess real quick, I got this queued up real quick. So just let's pop this up and give this a watch just real quick. Which nice. In the room, it's really cool. Yeah, that's a really good video.
Recordings just got better.
Oh no, go away.
Hey, all right. Thank you, man.
Thanks, Dana from StreamYard. Really want to thank you. The other night, when Mr. Horvath was on, the day he got nominated for an Eisner, and StreamYard shut down and didn't go live. We recorded. I forgot to tell you in the green room. It's recorded and it will be out next week. But we still did it. But yeah, I had to recall him from what's it called? The other one, Zoom. Is that it? I can't remember.
Zoom.
Yeah. So like I had to like, it wouldn't let me record, it wouldn't let me go live, and I was like, oh no, I was like, we have Zoom from work, and I emailed the guy with the passwords, and I was like, I need the password now. And it was like,
dude,
it's crazy. It's crazy.
So I almost reached out to you on that day because I was like, oh, you're having Patrick on. He just got nominated for an Eisner.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool that you were probably his first interview after getting nominated.
I was, yeah. And it would have been such a good time to go live, right?
Yeah, for sure.
But no, he was in an awesome mood, and we had a great conversation, and very, you know, as much as like the new stuff going on, you know, is that you guys are like reprinting this old digital comic he did. Just you guys are doing a lot of cool stuff. And this game seems to be like up there with a lot of the cool stuff. The video looks cool, but like the design and everything. And then there's like the blood chrome variant box deal. So like I have a million questions, but let's like just hit me with like how the venture into gaming started. Like how is Tim Seeley and Hackslash involved here? You know, like how did this happen?
Absolutely. So I mean, you know, as we kind of touched on before, Zoop is a full service crowdfunding platform, right? So number one, the largest category in the world of crowdfunding is games. Number two, because we're full service, we kind of unintentionally backed into being able to do something like this. You know, like we have the built-in team. You know, we're a bunch of geeks. Guys on the team are actually like, we have a game designer on the team. And the fact that we already have manufacturers and fulfillment lined up, we have our own platform to run the campaign. You know, it just all kind of fell into place. And when we started, you know, when we started thinking about like, well, what do we start with? Like, you know, what's good? And, you know, horror like always works, especially in the gaming space. It's big in the comic space as well. And we had worked with Tim before. We actually ran a campaign for him about 2 years ago. We reprinted a comic of his called Love Bunny and Mr. Hell. So we did a hardcover deluxe edition of that book with him. So it was really easy to just reach back out and be like, hey man, would you be interested in a game? And he was just like, sure. You know, he's like, he's not a gamer, but he's like, I know that there's always an appetite for this kind of thing. And because it's the 20th anniversary of Hackslash, he's got tons of content and tons of universe building and lore to draw from. So it's not like a blank canvas. You know, we're able to pull from a lot of existing things that people who are fans of the series will recognize within the game, and it'll be familiar, and they'll feel like they're actually, hopefully feel like they're actually interacting with some of these slashers and some of these villains. So it really all came together incredibly fast. So
Wow.
yeah, and look, I like Tim. I'll play Monopoly with my kid. I play Ticket to Ride, like that's my speed of game. So this one, to me, if Ticket to Ride is like a beginner type of game, then this is more of like an intermediate type of game. It takes a little bit more to understand, but once you kind of like know the mechanics and how to play, super fun game. I play, like I said, I keep mentioning my daughter. I love her, but she's 13. We were playing, and she wanted to keep playing. Can we play again? Can we play again?
Nice.
It gets you thinking. You have to be strategic in the order of like how you do things. Otherwise, you might be negatively or positively affected. So it's a really, for me, it was a cool experience playing it myself, because hey, this is a game that we created, and now all of a sudden it's here and it's this thing. But it was really cool seeing my daughter, who is not a horror fan in particular, but like is sitting down and playing this game and didn't look at her phone once. And I think that's like the highest praise that I can. Yeah.
I would recommend anybody watching now, by the way, in the description, there's a link to the Zoop campaign. You can click that, go right to Zoop, check out the campaign I just scrolled through. And as you mentioned, like, I think that's like, I'm 38 years old and have a hard time not looking at my phone, Jordan. So like, if you lock a 13-year-old down for 45 minutes or whatever the time limit is on this game, not only do they want to play longer, but they aren't distracted and they're into that. And like, I mean, is she into comics at all, or was there any, like, when she was playing, was she like, oh, maybe I'd want to read this? Was there any of that, or were you like, Blake, I got her with the game, man? Like, that was enough.
I hadn't thought of that. I hadn't thought to like be like, hey, well, you can actually read this story. But I think for her, it was cool to see sort of like a badass chick who's like beating up like villains and monsters and saving the day, and is just like self-assured and confident and all those cool things. But at the same time, I think it just got her brain working in a different way than being on the phone, or like I said, she's not a horror person. Like Scream is like the extent of what she can handle right now. But yeah, I mean, the game itself, it was just fun and engaging, and this is something you could also play by yourself if you wanted to. I don't know if like, I know you're a gamer yourself.
You're about to be like, Blake, I don't know if you have friends, but if you don't, you
no, hey man, I played it by myself too, and it was
I appreciate the solo modes. Hey, you can kind of learn how to play, and then when your friends come over, you have like a better way to teach everybody more cohesively, right? Like, because you can like learn the basic rules. I mean, the rules are gonna be a little different based on how many people are, if it's one or however many, maybe a little bit.
Very similar. I mean, everybody takes turns, you go in order, but at the same time, it's the same gameplay for one person as it would be for like 6 people.
Nice. So like it's you kind of like, you're the dungeon master in a sense. You can kind of do some prepping and get to know it before the people come over, and that way on game night you're not spending as long like, oh no, like this happens, and like, so I think that's smart. I think that's smart.
Yeah, because I mean, like the instructions, like I learned something, I think, so much better audibly. So, we had my game designer was explaining everything to me, versus when I was trying to read it, I couldn't really understand. Like, but that's me personally. I don't know. Everybody learns a little bit differently, but to your point, if someone figures it out and is able to explain it to other people, I think that it makes everything go that much smoother for sure.
Yeah, I'm the same. Like, I really want to play D&D, and I'm really I've been kind of getting into the lore and some stuff, but it's way more fun to like watch dungeon masters do like dungeon master lessons on YouTube, and like I'm like, I like read the books and like fall asleep, and I'm a nerd and I read all the time, right? So it's like, it's not like I'm like, books, but it's just like sometimes, and even like right now, like I'm going through the races and classes, like learning like all the different things you can be, and like reading some of their backstories and stuff, and even like it's interesting, and I'm still like, and it's, I don't know, it's just like it also like, it's just, I'm busy, so reading.
Yeah, no, understood. Look, completely get that, man. Yeah, we're gonna have YouTube videos to for instructions as well.
Nice, that's cool. I like that a lot.
that's so everyone who has the game, you have the choice of reading the instructions or sort of like getting the walkthrough tutorial on a video, which I think is going to be a lot easier for most people.
Yeah, I would appreciate that hardcore, because a lot of like game review, like if you look up like board game reviews are similar. It's like they review it, but that's all. They also kind of explain the mechanics of the game.
Sure.
I also thought that was smart on your page when we were scrolling through, but you have a how to play section on the page, so like people can kind of like go look at it and kind of get like a, read through the rules. See, they could kind of be like, oh, it's not Uno, so it's not for me, maybe, right? Or someone's like, oh,
right,
yeah, this is, I'm into this. So like, I thought including that on the page was smart. It's very thorough. As someone who deals with Kickstarter or crowdfunding pages, I haven't done a Zoop campaign yet. I like messed with one because you guys do that. So like,
right.
We wouldn't at Metal Ninja. So
no,
like,
but I appreciate that feedback, especially from someone who's a gamer, because we have a little experience in games. My partner actually ran some Cryptozoic Kickstarters for them.
Okay.
But at the same time, we know that like the gaming audience is slightly different than the comics audience. We know how to put together a comics crowdfunding campaign. So, to get at least somewhat some positive feedback that like our page, looks good and seems to like have the information that like gamers would want on it. Thank you for saying that, because we were a little bit in the dark, even doing our research and trying to, emulate other pages. You just never know if you're kind of hitting that mark. Especially because this is actually our first game campaign that we've run on Zoop.
I was pretty sure it was, but I was like, I'm pretty sure he'll say it, because I didn't want to be like, this is your first, and you were like, no, we've done 5. I was like,
this is the first one, and not only that, the thing is, we actually licensed Hack Slash from Tim, so this is a Zoop Games production. This is the first of many. We actually have other licenses that we're working on right now in the comics space, because realistically we have that comics audience, and there's a large Venn diagram of comic people and gamers, that overlap one another. So we're working on some other, to your point earlier, IPs. We're working on a few more, so hopefully we'll have a nice little pipeline of comics to games type, of deck builders, card games, tabletop games. We're not going to get into the RPG thing just yet, because I think that's a lot more involved in terms of writing and universe building and everything like that. I think that might be a little overwhelming for us, but for right now, I think that we are touching on a nice niche of, there's just so much universe building done in the world of comics, and decades worth of material sometimes for certain IP, certain characters.
Yeah.
And if you could turn that into a comic, turn that into a game, not only do I think you have the comic fans, but I think that it broadens the entire fan base. You bring in gamers who maybe are like, oh, I recognize that because I saw that, over here one time, or it's at my kid's school, or it was on this TV show. Like, these are the kind of like levels of things that we're dealing with right now. And so hopefully that maybe even turns those people to be like, try to figure out where it all originated from, and then go and maybe turn into comic fans. And so we'll see. But for us, it seems like there's a changing landscape in the world of comics right now. Crowdfunding is not going anywhere. It's only going to keep getting bigger and bigger and bigger. I think you're going to have more individual creators coming in. I think that you're going to see more publishers actually coming into the world of crowdfunding as well. But this potentially is another revenue stream for creators. Being able to take your IP, turn it into another medium. You don't have to have that big TV deal. You don't have to have, some studio behind you. You could take your property, turn it into a game, make a nice amount of cash, and be able to sort of have that additional revenue stream on the content that you spent, 10, 20 years creating. So I think that there's really, hopefully we're going to prove the model out with this campaign. I mean, we're about 85% funded. We just launched, so, we're feeling good about it, but, I think that we're going to be able to prove the model with this campaign and be able to show that to others, going forward, and be like, hey man, there's really something here. Let's get this snowball rolling and get it bigger and bigger and bigger. So yeah, having some interesting conversations with more properties about turning them into games.
That's very cool. I'm interested, and I know you can't give me price breakdowns, and I wouldn't expect you to, but fulfilling these, getting this stuff made, printed, getting these, board, like the boards and the foldable mats, just the cards and stuff everybody's been doing for a while, right? Like
Sure.
some people do them with like a lot of random campaigns. You get like character cards with them. Some of them, like they say, may lead up to a game. Some of them are just bonus, like trading cards with campaigns, right? So like
Sure.
cards are fairly easy to print, but like when you start making these like cool looking boards, the add-on tokens, the boxes, like even these, we one of our clients for work, for their campaigns, they do these custom like collector boxes that hold a handful, a few comics in them, right? And like designing those is a big deal, and printing them, and then not that, but shipping that stuff is like, once I started finding out what that cost, I was like, holy shit, man. Like, so what's combating that? Because this looks like an absolutely beautiful game, and like you mentioned, there's so much lore and stuff, so much art, and I mean, I'm sure, like, Tim seems like the kind of guy that he maybe drew you some stuff for this too, or something, like maybe like, let me design a couple new, I don't know, like, or had some unused stuff that you could, I don't know. He seems like that kind of guy, but it's cool stuff. Like this nothing looks cheap about this, which means,
and look, it's not, I mean, I have the box and the board behind me right now. I'll show it to you in a second, but, no, we have the right manufacturers for it. Nice. So, it's stuff that came out incredibly well. And by the way, I mean, this is still the prototype. We haven't done like the run yet of like 1,000 copies of this thing. So but the cool thing about it is, like, we're able to see certain things that we need to tweak, and it was really cool to like be like, all right, saw how this came out. We maybe need to, make a, a little change here, lighten this up, darken this, change these letters or words or, whatever. And we're going to make it even better than like what you kind of see on the page. I appreciate the kind words. And it's an almost finished product, but we still have like some minor tweaks to make. And to your point, we have a blood foil version. So that's for the collector. That's for like the one, the person who wants it all. And the majority of people seem to want it all. I think that's our highest backed reward is the blood foil variant, cover, I guess, for lack of a better term, and all 3 expansion packs. So those expansion packs are going to be different adventures, different slashers, different villains, different stories that you get to continue to play as. So you don't get bored of doing the same thing over and over again. They're all going to be based on different, I think I just said this, but my brain just shut off for a second. Each expansion pack is going to be a different story with a different slasher from the comics. So there is a little hint. I know that we haven't revealed what they are, but those reveals are going to be coming throughout the campaign. And those colors that you see on those expansion packs are supposed to be a slight hint as to who, if you're familiar with the hack slash universe and all those slashers, who they may be. So
interesting.
Yeah. That's coming soon. Those reveals are coming soon.
Yeah. I didn't realize, I didn't look at the time. Like, I didn't realize it's, I thought this had been live a little bit longer, but you got 25 days left. And you're over 100 backers, broke 16,000, 20,000 is the goal. What did I see? Stretch goals start at 33. Is that what it said?
I'm not sure. We might move them closer though. That's one of those things we weren't quite sure about,
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Like, I mean, we had no idea what to expect with our first game. So,
I mean, when these things start catching on though, man, like does traffic for you guys run similar to like the other campaigns where like, there's like this dead zone everybody tries to do stuff and scramble with, and then like right towards the end when the emails come out, they're like, hey, it's almost over, and everybody's like, oh yeah. Like,
that's a really interesting question. We've seen it all. We've seen campaigns that have just been completely steady throughout, that like never had a day without backers. And then we've seen campaigns where it's like, the first 3-4 days they did the majority of it, and then they start panicking, and then all of a sudden, 4 or 5 days towards the end of the campaign, like I've seen some incredible things happen. So yes, we do have similar sort of traffic, in that regard, but it's not like 100% that way. Like it's really interesting, and sometimes there's just no predicting, how it's going to go.
Nice. How are you feeling like for this launch? Like you've got the video is super cool, right? And like I said, like Oh, I try and make cool videos, and I don't. They are somewhat efficient and work for what I need them to, but like it's.
Sure.
I even found out recently about Envato, and that's upped my game a little bit, right? But still, I don't know. That was a cool video. Anyway, long story. But like you've invested. Well, I mean, obviously you've invested a lot just in game production and stuff too. But like
Sure.
in press and promo too, it seems. So like how you feeling these first few days of launch?
Yeah, I mean, the fact that we're almost funded, within the first week feels really good.
It is a nice thing, no matter what platform you launch on.
yeah. And that's the thing, like we don't have that gaming audience, right? Like we're really trying to bring comics fans to this, and then also reach out to those gaming fans, and to like sort of how we discussed when Zoop first launched. I think gaming people are going to start learning about us. And it's going to be maybe that slow burn of those early adapters, maybe coming over and checking out the projects that we're running on Zoop, because now there's going to be more than just, Kickstarter or GameFound even, to run games on. Yeah. Feeling good. We have 25 days left to get like another like $3,000 or so, to hit the goal. So I'm feeling really good about that. I just, I say this all the time. There's no crystal ball in crowdfunding. I have no idea what we're going to top out at. I don't know if we hit just 20 and just clear it, or if we get to 25 or 30 or like where this winds up. That's the one thing I'm unsure about. I'm sure we're going to get funded. That's, there's no issue there. But yeah, I think out of the gate, we feel very good. So hopefully this continues. We have some interviews that are coming up on some large outlets. We are doing paid advertising for this. So we are throwing everything that we can to see like how this is going to pan out.
I have seen the campaign ads pop up on social media a lot. And they, again, like I was paying close attention to them, because like every now and then Mad Cave does it too. So when I scroll past a Mad Cave ad, I sometimes think they are posts just from you guys, like from Zoop or from Mad Cave, right? And I'm like, oh, what? Oh, and then I'm like, nope, it's an ad. Like, but that's smart, right? So like it almost looks like something you posted on social media, but they just like, which it is kind of, it just forces itself on into your. But anyway, long story, I've seen it. It's nice.
Yeah.
It's a good ad.
Thank you, man.
I'm in ramble mode tonight. I don't know why. I don't know if I'm nervous, Jordan, because you're like, I don't know. You're not like the competition, but you're like a crowdfunding. You're like a crowdfunding like legend, because you guys like the stuff you've done at Zoop in not much time, and then like I said, now you're expanding into games with a strong launch and cool like a cool brand like you said, like Hack Slash Horror, the card game, the art. It's a cool, the blood foil like. What else is the blood foil? Because I know that is a deal like for a lot of these Kickstarter games, because it's like you won't get that in retail, right? The game may go to retail if hopefully right later, but that's not the foil, that special one is going to be like you're not getting that unless you pay a lot of money for it on eBay later.
Correct. That's exclusive to this campaign, or I should say, I mean, I think we have a run of 500. So if we don't sell
it's limited.
If we don't sell out of all 500, we have our e-commerce platform now as well. So that's going to go up for sale, on zoop.gg/store. So you'll be able to find that, once it actually comes out. But yeah, no, that's limited. That's a Zoop exclusive for sure. But to your point, yeah, we are having discussions with distributors. We are looking to get this into comic shops and game shops and specialty stores. I don't necessarily know that Hack Slash is making its way into like Target and Walmart and Barnes and Noble, but like, this could be something cool for like Hot Topic or Spencer's or something like that, as well as, look, there's tons of gaming stores around the country. And I think that this, the overlap between comics and games, I think, is something that's really interesting, and you don't see a lot of unless it's like a Marvel or DC type of thing. And all right, maybe that's not even accurate. You got your turtles, your Ninja Turtles, but I'm kind of trying to think like what else is out there in terms of like games that were inspired by comics at like right off the top of my head. I'm sure there's Walking Dead games too, but I don't know if that.
There's but I don't even. I mean, well, there's little games for everything, but like I mean, because I mean, like $20 games you can buy in Target. Some like lame like for kids Ninja Turtle. There's like a million of those, but like. I know IDW did a crowdfunded like a mega crazy ninja, like with minifigures and all sorts of crazy shit.
Yeah.
They did that, which I still that and they just did the crowdfunder for the Ninja Turtles RPG, which like, dude, if I would have had $500, I would have spent it. They had dice, like custom dice for like each turtle in an aluminum set for shred. Oh, dude, they went. It was insane.
That's
but yeah,
cool.
like it's and then Marvel just came out with the Marvel RPG. Like I got those books, which those are supposed to be real fun. But yeah,
So-
and there's it reminded me at the Planet Comic-Con. I bought from Cullen Bunn. I bought his Harrow County board game in the expansion,
Oh, cool.
and it's beautiful. Like it's just like it's just nice, and the box has a built-in like dice tower that you can like drop the
Cool.
dice into.
That makes sense.
But like I bought that from him at the con, and I love Harrow County, and so like if Tim had him, or if you guys were tabling at a con and you had like a stack of like hack slash stuff.
Yeah.
And I would there were a lot of me's, Jordan, that walk by and they're like, I'll spend money on anything, like, but it was cool. It is cool because it's like I love hack slash. I love Tim Seeley's writing. I've always been a big fan. To like experience the world in this different way, like with friends or solo. Like I'm very intrigued about that. But there's something about like, oh, I really like this comic. I really like this thing. I really like this brand. And then there's like when they make a movie out of something or a video game out of something, but like, board games are coming back. Like they've always been around and they always will be, but there seems to be a resurgence in that type of gaming and like Dungeons and Dragons, like you mentioned, like Target and Walmart and shit, dude, they're full of Dungeons and Dragons stuff now. It's crazy. It's like, which is funny because like now it used to be the thing that like the not cool kids did, and now like all the cool kids are doing it, and I can't find people to play with, and I'm like, what is happening? Anyways.
Come on, Blake. Where are you, by the way? Planet Comic Con is what? Kansas
City. Yeah, Kansas City, Missouri.
Is that where you are?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah, and then right in the middle. I'm in the blue speck in the middle of the red.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah, it's nice. It's nice and comfy here. And we got good food, and it's cheap. It's also cheep, which is cool. Man. Yeah.
Yeah. No. Tim does a lot of shows. I know he's going to be at New York. I know what we have. I think like a January or February sort of schedule for fulfillment. So I don't know that we'll have any games ready for him at New York in October, but he tables a lot. I know he was just at C2E2. I saw his setup on social media. He's got like 2 tables, they're filled with stuff. So having the hack slash game there, I'm sure is going to be, something that he's going to do as well.
Yeah.
But that'll be, I guess, a 2025 thing for now.
Cause like, could you imagine like having this cause I bet I would even try and be like, sketch one of these for me if you could buy all like the VHS like hardcover the crowdfunded variants they do of the hack slash hardcovers. You can get like the regular hardcovers in the direct market now, but they have these like distressed VHS variants that they're just so they're pricey, but they're beautiful books. But anyways, like if you like have like a bundle, you get like all of those and the game and just like just everything hack slash all at once, just like that'd be amazing. And you could almost do that. Like
I will tell you, so we had sort of like a giveaway. So if you signed up for the pre-launch, and if you pledge, you were getting a holofoil card, so an exclusive holofoil card. So there's only going to be like a couple hundred of those. Cool. Number 2, the early bird special was a print, an exclusive art print. And then one of the stretch goals, actually, to your point, is Tim will sign and do a sketch in one of the hardcover books. So it's a raffle. So everyone who backs it is going to get entered into a raffle. One lucky winner will actually get, an original piece of art from Tim in one of the hack slash hardcovers. So
that is sick. And that is also one of the best things about doing work with an artist. Be like, hey, you're already doodling, like doodle something real quick for this campaign. But then you can also like, I tell people all the time, like crowdfunding campaigns are some of the best way to get original art. There's a lot of guys that are just friends with people. And like, you can get like some big name that aren't even really like involved in the project, but there's like for $200 you can get a 11 by 17 and it's like, whoa, okay. Like, So yeah, it's, you know, and when you work with artists, it makes that a little easier to organize and do. But yeah, I'm very excited for this, man, and I'm excited for you guys because you guys work hard, and
Thanks, man.
I know that, like, because I said, I'm friends with guys that have worked with you and people that have been on this. We've featured Zoop campaigns on the show, so like everybody loves you.
And thank you for that, man. I really do
Oh
appreciate
no, I love you guys. It's so hard. Like when you send me Eisner nominated, like I mean, you guys they didn't know that, but also like everybody's all about beneath the, like, you have to like fight to find those issues or pay like $100 for them right now or something. Like, it's crazy.
But there are some that are available at Zoop.
That's true. We talked about that. Yeah.
So we're talking about Patrick Horvath. He's the creator of something. Oh man, Beneath the Trees Where Nobody Sees.
Yeah.
He's up for an Eisner for Blake. I don't remember if it's best new series or best writer artist.
I think it's best new series.
Okay.
I should probably know that because I'm voting.
I should probably know it too. But so, by the way, so this book, Free for All, he created before Beneath the Trees Where Nobody Sees.
Yeah.
And it was out digitally for a really long time, but now it's never been in print. So we're hopefully capitalizing on the hype of Patrick and everything that he's got going on right now. And this is his essentially his first creator-owned book. And it's going to be its first print release. And if you keep scrolling down, you'll see some of the Beneath the Trees books that are available.
Yeah.
These are some variants. You can get them signed. You can get them remarked by Patrick. I think some of these are limited editions, or I'm not sure that $100 one.
Even if they're the foils are special, but I think these first prints are worth a lot of money right now. Like
that's awesome.
These are probably underpriced.
So dive in, guys.
Yeah,
come
like
on.
what are they called? What do they call those little thieving bastards who like buy the hot stuff for cheap and sell it? I can't think. They're not scalp. Yeah, speculators. Yeah.
Yeah.
Roll out, speculators. No, I don't respect you, but I respect the hustle. No, do what you got to do.
Come on, whoever wants to buy them. We only have a few left of each of them, it looks like, and you can get original art that looks like commissions, sketches from Patrick. So to your point earlier, this is the easiest way.
How is no one claimed? This is one of the hottest illustrators in comics.
I don't
right
know,
now. You get a full size color sketch for $400. That's nuts.
From the Eisner nominated.
Yeah.
And speaking of which, by the way, so Tim Seeley got nominated.
He also is Eisner. Yeah, you're just working with Eisner. What did you tweeted that? Or one of you guys tweeted the other day, like a lot of your projects are Eisner nominated right now.
So the two of the projects that we have live on Zoop right now are this one, Free for All, and Hack Slash. Hack Slash, by the way, is nominated for an Eisner for Zoe Thorogood's
her spinoff thing.
Yeah, so that's nominated for an Eisner
because she's everything she does. She's like, she's awesome. Flawless. She's flawless.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want to jinx you, Zoe, but you've been absolutely flawless. Like, it's I can't imagine. I mean, I'm so glad she does stuff like, but I feel like there'd be like like there's pressure there when like everything is so well received. Like I feel like every new project you'll be like, what if they don't like it? I don't know. That's just me, too. Maybe.
I don't remember who she's up against though. But I think Tim and Patrick are up against each other because Tim got nominated for Local Man.
Yeah.
And Zoop actually, our campaign that we did last year it's an anthology called Comics for Ukraine. Actually,
that's nominated too.
Yeah, two nominations, one for best anthology, one for best short story in there, and a third nomination. We're not listed because the actual publisher is listed, but Brian Talbot put out a sort of an autobiographical book, and so that's nominated in the best book about comics category, but that originated on Zoop as well. So it's been pretty crazy, the fact that like we have stuff that we are nominated for, and that the people that are running campaigns live right now on Zoop are also nominated for other non-Zoop related things. But it's really cool.
Yeah, man. Like I said, when the hard work starts paying off, right? It's very, and these are like this is Eisner shit. This is big big deal, and right now, like everybody's pushing for Ringo stuff too, right? Which we at Works probably should have been pushing harder, but we tried. It gets hard to like, to promote all that. And when you're promoting the campaigns you're doing, and you're promoting for, clients, and you're just promoting for like Zoop in general, and like, you know, so that you can get, you know, some more people come to Zoop, more clients, creators, right? So like, yeah, it's so cool, like that you guys are able to you keep up. Oh, my dog, what is he? But I'm sorry about that. But yeah, he it's awesome, man. And it's
Thank you.
I'm excited. I just really am excited for this game. I've been getting into this stuff again, and been getting into, I like collecting cards. I used to be really into Marvel Legends. I still have tons of boxes of those, and like, you know, the sleeving cards is like akin to like bagging and boarding comics, and then you can get like the cool looking sleeves. Has that been a thought, like hack slash custom sleeves for the cards? Or
we did talk about it, but it's not a route that we went, in all honesty. It's, you know, maybe it's something that we do down the line, either for hack slash or for something else that we're working on. But for this one, I think we just kind of kept it fairly simple. It's like, you know, you have the basic game, you have the blood foil version, and then we have the expansions. I think anymore, and as a first timer, we might be getting in over our skis a little bit. So, you know, even the fact that we have a board is like a big, like, this is a game that you can kind of play without the board, but like the board to me is like gorgeous, and the material,
it ramps it up, dude. Like, remember Munchkin? Like, Munchkin is a fun ass game, but Munchkin released like the deluxe edition or whatever that had like the board, and so many people went and rebought it and like liked it even more. And it was like, and it was the same game. It just was like, had a centerpiece thing to organize. It cleans it up a little bit. But yeah, I thought, and it does. It makes, you're like, oh, it's not just a card game now. It's a board, you know, and are there tokens too? Like, it looked like there was some other,
you know, I don't know what the proper word is. You can call them tokens. We call them chits, right? Like, you know, they're like these little things that they're sort of like, you know, for your health tracker, and there's things that happen in the game, like when certain cards get flipped over on your action track, it's going to say like, this is going to add like one more point, you know, like one more attack energy that you need in order to defeat this villain. Or like when we have man, I don't know if any of this is going to make sense to anybody but me. If anybody's played Marvel Legendary or Star Realms, those are probably some of the closest comparisons of this. But so we have some locations. Let me see if I could hold on one second.
Here, while you're messing with that, I'll figure out how to make you big. Hold on. I always forget how to do this.
Make me big. All right. So
nope. God damn it.
Here, it's all good. oh yeah. So here, I'm going to show you.
There we go.
So this is a location card, right? This is the animal shelter where Cassie and Vlad's friends work that kind of help them out. They're sort of like HQ for hack slash, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And this is when the game starts.
Bruce.
What's that?
My dog. I'm sorry.
Oh, it's okay.
I thought I had the mic muted.
No. Oh, is your dog's name Bruce?
Yeah, it's Bruce.
Nice. All right.
No, I just forgot your name, Jordan. I'm just
just call me the boss. It's all good. But yeah, so this is one of the location cards, and as you can see, it says +1 for minions. Oh, actually, I'm seeing it backwards, so I don't even know. I can't read this, but you can see that +1 there. So that means if there's a minion, one of the kind of things that you have to defeat on the location. Let me just read this real quick. For all minions at this location, when a character marker is not present on this space. So that means that every minion that's here, it takes an additional energy point, like an additional hit point to defeat them. Now, we're going to flip the card over. And when you see this red border and everything is red, that means that the location has been breached. It's been breached by those villains, by those minions, and it makes it even harder because now you have 2 extra hit points, 2 extra energy that you have to spend in order to defeat any of those minions that are at that location. So kind of things like that are happening. We have, here's a couple of the hero cards. These are like, you know, what you use to defeat the villains. And as you can see on this card over here, one in the boot, the yellow one. Now, if you see at the bottom there's another little yellow boot icon at the bottom. That means that that's a combo. So if you have 2 cards with this yellow icon on it, you get to use both of them at the same time and kind of put all your points together.
Oh,
And that's going to increase, the
well,
amount.
chain attack action.
Exactly. Yeah, we're calling them combos, but chain attack, that works as well. Yeah.
Dude, and like I said, I just like the art and stuff looks great. I'm excited. Is it the foil edition, or is anything, or like are any of the cards foil, or is it just the box? Like, is there going to be different?
Just the box.
Okay.
Just the box for that reward. But
Okay.
this is the card. This is not the holographic version of it, but this is the holofoil card that was the giveaway for people who signed up for the pre-launch.
Nice.
You also have to back the campaign. It wasn't enough to just sign up. We don't know who you are or where to send it to if you don't pledge. So you got to pledge. But then this will be a holofoil version of this card, which is the most powerful card that you can have from the hero deck.
It did seem like it had higher numbers than the other ones that you showed.
Yeah, so this is the most powerful card, and that's the one that's going to be a holofoil for people,
Nice.
again, who signed up and who pledge, who back, and then it's going to be a really limited number of those. So I wonder if we start seeing some of those on like a secondary market somewhere.
Yeah.
Like if I don't know how that goes, like in the gaming community, if there are sort of like backers, not backers, but like collectors of all that stuff,
You mentioned Marvel Legendary, which like I said, I used to collect, and then like every now and then I'll look it up and just see how many new expansions are out, and they still release all the time. But there's the X-Men one that I never bought. It's like, what is it? It's on from a third party Amazon seller. It's like $300 or $400. Like,
whoa.
Yeah, it gets like super. I don't know if anyone's buying, because because Amazon used to have bots, right? Where when something sold, like they would like automatically watch like the other items and like increment ad stuff, and they would like end up like fighting each other, which is how they got to these astronomical prices of like $400, $500 till the seller notices and actually goes in and is like, oh, no one's gonna buy this for $500 and resets it. But yeah, that's what it's at. And then the villains set that came out shortly after launch, that I guess it had a more limited run. Like you can't even, like, for a while it was selling for hundreds of bucks like on eBay, and then you can't even, like, unless you like find it at a con or something, but like you can't even like find them online. Like, so some of that stuff's like real rare. And again, like, I don't have the money to buy it, but I sure look it up every now and then, Jordan. So
for sure. Look, man, I still collect comics. I'm actually, like, for the first time in since I was like a kid, I'm doing sort of like a garage sale, comic sale at my place tomorrow. So
oh, cool.
I got that to look forward to also. I'll see how that goes. I have no idea if
I've never seen comics at a garage sale. I thought it was a myth. I've heard stories. I've never seen them. Like, it's always like VHS and like a treadmill from like 1987.
well, it's funny because, like, and we could talk for like another hour about all this stuff. But I'll watch like some guys on YouTube who go to like flea markets and swap meets and garage sales and stuff. And I'm like, like, and it kind of got me thinking. I'm like, well, I live in LA. Like, there's got to be like something, and we have no swap meets here. There's not like flea markets where anything is just like $1 a piece, because everything is super expensive in LA. But sometimes there's garage sales, sometimes there's estate sales, which is like kind of crazy, but like that's where you find some gems sometimes. So yeah, man. And I'm someone who's awake at like 5 or 6 in the morning anyway. So even if it's a weekend, I might just be like, all right, I'm up. I might as well just go, like to one of these garage sales or one of these estate sales anyway, and go see if I could like just find some stuff for my collection. So I've been doing that. I've been doing that just like for fun, but now it's time to get rid of some stuff because comics take up a lot of space, man.
Yeah, no, I'm noticing the same thing. I've quit buying toys. I don't buy as much, but then I started buying manga, and like that takes some space too. It's like everything just takes up. And then now I started buying. I don't buy lots of them, but I buy 4K Blu-rays of movies I really like, because like I'm like, what if in 5 years I want to watch Black Hawk Down with my dad, because we both really like that movie, and for some reason they've removed it from everything, right? And it's like some movies and stuff I buy now, and like I only have like the PS5, which is supposedly like the worst 4K Blu-ray player ever, but I think it looks great. Like I love it. I think it looks amazing. But anyways, like, so yeah, it's, like there is a importance for physical media, but yeah, it takes up space. And sometimes there's a lot of comics I bought that I thought like I really needed, that like now I could be like, I don't, like
oh man, I have shelves of Zoop projects, which is like really gratifying to see it in physical form. That's really cool. But I know at some point, like if and when we ever move, oh my god, that's that's the heaviest stuff to pack. Oh my god,
books and magazines and stuff. Yeah, it's the worst. You can't buy your friends with pizza and beer for that, because they're gonna be hurting later. Whoever helps you move.
I'd almost rather carry furniture than boxes of books.
I know. Oh man, it was. I believe me, I have the same thought. I'm like, I bet we really find out what comic books are important when we move.
For sure.
It's like,
yes, you will.
What can we sell for real cheap, like real quick first?
Yeah,
like,
man. Well, I'll let you know. I'll let you know how my sale goes, and then maybe
nice.
take a queue and see if you just have like a garage sale, comic sale.
Yeah, like I mean, I bet like, because there's like a Kansas, like there's groups on everything, like a Kansas City, like Kansas City Facebook groups, and I'm sure there are. Craigslist. Like I should look like swap meets and stuff.
Yeah, go to Craigslist, man. That's where
I forgot Craigslist was still a thing, man. It was like, once the casual encounters went down, I just never went back. That was a joke. But I did used to be really, and I loved reading the misconnections. And when I was a bouncer I used to be a bouncer at a bar. I know I talked about it, Blake's Buzz Bingo. But like someone wrote a misconnection about me one time, and everybody at work was passing it around. And my boss, he was this dirty old man named Fish. His name was, well, we called him Fish, but like his last name was Fisher. But anyways, he was dirty. He was a dirty old man. But he was like, Blake, you should hit it up. And I was like, all right. So I look it up, and at the time I found it was another guy. And so I was like, I told my boss, I was like, it's a guy. And he was like, too bad, man. And I was just like, but yeah, it was still like,
are you discriminating? Like, come on, man.
Yeah. Like, at the time I wasn't into it. Things changed, but like, yeah, it's, it was what did it say? It was like, you always have the best smile. And it was like, intense. And it was like, when you come up, like, sometimes I want to follow you downstairs when you go get ice to help you. And I was like, oh my God, like what? I was like,
that's kind of flattering though.
Yeah, no, like at the same time it was flattering, but I was like, man, like what, like, could you imagine like just turning around and like someone, like, even whether you're straight, gay, whatever, like a potential mate is just there, like, hey, and you're like, whoa, just like,
it's a little,
that might be intense.
Yeah.
It's not a Lifetime movie scenario that anyways, but yeah,
no, for sure.
I know you didn't think we were going to talk Craigslist misconnections tonight, I'm sure, but
I didn't know that was still a thing. I just went on Craigslist while you were talking. I'm like, oh man, misconnections, it's right there.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
I thought they took it all down. I thought you had to be I've because it used to be like it was like reading obituaries. Like, a lot of people just read those because they're weird. Like people would read these misconnections, and some dude were just so like reaching so hard. Like, you were 3 blocks away, I saw you by a street light, and I thought we locked eyes as a car passed. I was like, what the hell? Like,
that is creepy, and that'll never get answered.
Yeah, right. Like, also that could be anybody.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. But look, like I said earlier, I don't want to cut this short by any means, but I do have to take my daughter to Alabama a little bit.
Yeah, we've talked an hour on the Friday eve of a long weekend, but yeah, I guess real quick, obviously, like I said, the links to the campaign are in the bio and everything, but like, do you guys have like a newsletter, or like anything you want to shout out to the audience? Let them know where to find you, keep track of you.
Yeah, so a couple things. The website is zoop.gg, not zoop.com. That's some like Brazilian tax something or other. But for creators who are interested, click on zoop.gg. In the header, there's a link to submit your project. You just fill out a little form, let us know what you're working on if you're interested in working with us, and we'll get back to you. We're on all social media, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, at We Are Zoop. Yeah, the campaigns are running right now. Please support. We appreciate it. The creators appreciate it. If you're into comics, if you're into games, if there's other things that you want to see us run crowdfunding campaigns for, let us know. If you want to drop us a line, it's hello@wearezoop.com. And man, we have so much lined up. Blake, I wish I could share with you what we have, like sort of that is not visible to anybody right now. But yeah, I mean, some of the campaigns that we have live right now, like we said, not Eisner nominees, Patrick Horvath. We got Tim Seeley. Another one, Los Ojos, from Trevor Mueller, who's had some success over on Kickstarter as well. We have an art book from Adriana Mello coming up, from Sway. I don't know if you guys are familiar with Sway. Super amazing artist doing a lot of covers for Marvel and DC right now. Another installment from Paul Aller.
Nice.
We have a sort of kaiju book that's launching pretty soon. Sanford Green's 1000. This is like a sort of web book that, web comic he did before Bitter Root, before he sort of blew up. So this is going to be like a print edition of that. That's coming soon too. Christian Ward, we're doing an art book with. Coming up real soon is The Breed Omnibus from Jim Starlin. If you remember that 90s.
Yeah.
So
No way. Really?
Yeah, that was Malibu Comics. So that's like his creator-owned thing.
Whoa.
Aside from Red Star, we have Breed coming. And if anybody is a Babylon 5 fan, Claudia Christian, she was one of the main actresses in Babylon 5. We're doing a graphic novel with her that's coming out soon too. So
Nice, dude.
yeah, also sort of like a space sci-fi type of thing. But yeah, so Babylon 5 fans, Jim Starlin fans, Sanford Green fans, Christian Ward fans, come on back, man. Zoop.gg, come support some of these campaigns. And that's not even the stuff that I wish I could tell you about. There's more. So yeah, just keep checking in, man. There's always going to be some campaigns that are going to be hopefully blowing minds and doing some good numbers for us.
Very cool, man. I'm very excited. Also, Katie, what's up? Thanks for tuning in. It's I've backed some of the projects. They have awesome books. They have awesome creators out there. Everybody can't speak highly enough of them. They really do like the assistance that Zoop provides in the campaign, because it is like Kickstarter is not for everybody. It's a solo endeavor, or you pay for services for people to help you, right? Whereas like Zoop finds a way to navigate it into a scenario where all of that's kind of like linked together and stuff. And it like I said, people like it, and it's cool. It's cool to see you guys growing. Cool to see you guys trying new things. Cool to see you guys hopefully enjoy a 3-day weekend and sell some of those comics and free up some space so you can build up more of those comps from the projects that you guys keep doing. Because I can't, even if you guys get like one book from each, like that's going to take up space. And I know damn good and well you get more than one for each one. There's probably
no, dude, we back them too, man. We're throwing money in it sometimes. So
really?
Yeah, man.
I didn't know if how that, because you guys usually handle fulfillment. So I didn't know if like if you end up get stuck with, if you have like a warehouse of like all these extra Zoop books or something going on.
Well, we do, and a lot of stuff is available for sale at zoop.gg
through the store,
/store. Yeah, so that's another sort of, I don't know if I want to say the word innovation, but I mean, like, Kickstarter doesn't have a marketplace. Indiegogo doesn't have a marketplace. You have to go back to that original campaign page, to potentially buy it at a later time. This is going to be more of a marketplace where you could go and get Axe Wielder John. You can go and get, the book from Ron Mars and Andy Lanning. You can go and get Whistling Skull from Tony Harris. So it's essentially an Amazon type of store, specifically right now for projects that originated on Zoop, but really it's open to anybody. So if people originate on Kickstarter and are looking to continually sell their book after a campaign, and don't have their own website, don't want to be doing fulfillment on an ongoing basis, hit us up.
Hell yeah. Like I said, you should hit them up. And for people that just like buying and reading cool comics, playing cool games, hit them up. Check out Zoop. They got a lot of cool projects. All right. It is a long weekend. Everybody that was watching us live, thank you so much. I love you. For people that watch this later, the links are all there for you. I bet some of these stretch goals are going to be very cool and worth getting. So very excited to let's I want these guys to do like cool stuff, keep making cool games. So, like, let's get out there and support them. And I know this is a game, but supporting indie comics is important, and that Zoop is all about that. Jordan, I'm so stoked. Like we've talked through emails and stuff before, but it was so fun to like sit down and actually chat with you and have a conversation. You're a super cool dude, and I appreciate you.
All right back to you, man. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Unless you got anything else left, I'll play the thing and set you free.
Just a big thank you for having all of our creators on the show, and thank you for having me, man. Much appreciated.
Oh yeah, man. Anytime, for real. Everybody love more, hate less, read comics. Have a fun and a safe weekend. I'm gonna go edit a bunch of video. Have a good one.